Born and raised in a small town in Andhra Pradesh. Moved to Madras for my diploma in engineering in 1990. Joined the Indian Air Force in July 1992 as a combatant airman. Trained on helicopters, specialized in aircraft avionics. Served at Saharanpur, Leh, Ladakh, and Hakimpet, Hyderabad. Took voluntary retirement in December 2005 after 13 and a half years of service. Without missing a beat, I stepped into mainstream IT in February 2006 in Hyderabad. Infrastructure, Linux, Windows administration skills I had already sharpened in the IAF. Quickly rose to Site IT head for an MNC. Then moved to the USA, lived there for 9.5 years, and worked with renowned organizations iHeartMedia, Epic Labs, Paramount Studios, and ThoughtSpot. Completed my master's at Campbellsville University, Louisville, Kentucky. In February 2001, I had a heart attack while serving at Leh, Ladakh, at 12,000 feet above sea level. Harsh conditions, thin air but ironically pure, pollution-free, silent. The culprit was blood thickening at high altitude. I had faced Bell's palsy twice, first in May 1919, then again in April 2006. Each time I recovered, each time I moved on. Then came November 2020. I was working in Fremont for a Bay Area organization. Mid-November, I felt slightly uneasy. Took 2 days. Sick leave. Went back to work. Not emotional. Last week of November, I visited a clinic in LA, BP, reading 1 over 1. They suspected something serious and sent me straight to the ER. That is when I found out I had a brain stroke. I had been working, living, functioning without knowing. But here is what I learned from each battle. The heart attack taught me nutrition. I studied it deeply, so deeply that when my LA doctor prescribed metformin for type 2 diabetes after the stroke, I said no. I controlled it through diet alone. No medication, still do. Bell's palsy taught me articulation, how to speak, how to form words consciously when your face won't cooperate. The stroke taught me neuroplasticity, that the brain can rewire itself, that damage is not destiny. I use that knowledge to rebuild deliberately, systematically, one neural pathway at a time. Every crisis became a classroom. I did not just survive, I graduated. After my US visa expired, I moved back to India in July 2024. Searched for roles matching my experience. Gurgaon, Hyderabad, 4 months of trying. Nothing. Nothing. Age discrimination was real and silent. Side hustles failed too. Geo. IP bans, poor bandwidth, dead ends. So I made a decision. Moved to UAE. Same age discrimination. Different time zone. But better internet and silence. That matters more than people think. With no job coming, I turned fully to AI. Started late 2024. What happened next surprised even me. In 1 year, I went from DevOps engineer to developer. Built 9 applications from scratch. Linux tools, cloud infrastructure, trading apps, speech generation pipelines, all open source, all self-taught, all running on Linux. 20 plus years of Linux experience became my unfair advantage. Then I built VoiceForge, my own voice cloning pipeline. No subscription. No 11 labs. Just my RTX 3050 laptop, Chatterbox TTS, fast API, and stubbornness. 95% accuracy. My pre-stroke voice returned. Returned. The voice you are hearing right now, that is VoiceForge. That is me. Rebuilt. I started this channel for one reason. Because nobody told me what was possible after a stroke. I had to figure it out alone. This channel is for stroke survivors who lost their speech, their work, their identity. For veterans who served with honor and now feel invisible. For anyone over 45 told they are too old to rebuild. For caregivers standing beside someone fighting to come back. You are not alone anymore. For the next 8 weeks, free, no subscription, no paywall, I will share everything I learned the hard way. How I used neuroplasticity to rewire my brain, bypassing damaged neuron paths, creating new ones. how I recovered speech after spastic dysarthria and eventually built an AI to restore my pre-stroke voice, how I controlled type 2 diabetes through nutrition alone, no metformin, no medication, how discipline, built over 13 and a half years in the Indian Air Force, became my greatest medicine. No theory, no motivation posters, just one man's real experience. Battle tested, failure proven, still standing. My name is Murli. This is the resilient veteran. If you are still standing, you belong here. Drop in the comments, what battle are you fighting right now? I read every single one. I read every single one.